What's going on, everybody? I know it's been a long time since I made a video, but life has been busy. So today I wanted to talk about a mystery misfire I have been chasing for about over a year. I think it started I don't know, maybe 6 months after my motor swap. So everything was good. I did the engine swap. The car is a 99 with a 2001 sport model VVT swap with the transmission, the 6-speed, and the differential to match the 6-speed transmission. Anyway, that's not important here. What is important is the misfire I had. So the car would always start and run as it would normally, and then once the engine was warmed up, it would start misfiring. And what I noticed is that if I revved it up like really high, then the misfire would clear. That happened about 50% of the time. Now the issue I was having was it sounded like a Subaru. Well, I'm not sure how many of my viewers have experienced a misfire on a Miata, especially if you have an exhaust. It sounds like a boom, 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 boom. Like if you've ever heard like a Subaru STI with exhaust, it's similar to that, except your car is absolutely lacking any horsepower. It's just a complete pain in the ass. So, you know, being the car guy that I am, I said, okay, I'm gonna fix this, right? So for my engine swap, here's the list of things that I changed that I thought that it was, but because I didn't properly diagnose it, like a true mechanic should or would, or, you know, should have enough skills to diagnose something properly before you start throwing parts and wasting money. So here's the list of things that I changed on this car that I should have not, thinking it would have solved my problem. So the first place I looked, because I did have a problem with this before, was the injector. Okay, I thought that the injector was clogged up, but nope, that wasn't it. So I just kind of, to be safe, I sent out the 4 injectors that were in it, and I got them cleaned professionally by some injector cleaning shop. I got them back, I installed them, started the car up, I drove it for a day, I was like, oh, awesome, it's fixed. Nope, the misfire returned on the next drive. Okay, that sucks. Then I grabbed the MAF sensor, the black sensor that's right in front of your intake. I think it's just one plug there. So I swapped it out with another known working one that didn't have any issues from the parts car. That did not fix it. I changed the cam angle sensor. Nope, that didn't fix it. Then I ordered a new crank angle sensor because, of course, with the Google searching, I was like, oh, okay, this is the symptoms people experience, and this has worked with a lot of people, so I tried that. I set it up properly, and actually it was scarier than it. It looked scarier than it actually was, so it was actually a quick and easy process. That did not fix it. Then I ripped out my fuel tank to check if my pump was broken, so I grabbed a pump with low mileage from my parts car, swapped it out. That was a fun job. That also did not fix it. Let's see what else I did. Oh yeah, O2 sensor. I got my mechanic to do that because it was rusted in there. That did not fix it. Then, I mean, all this stuff was done after I checked the very first things. So I put new spark plugs in it, NGKs. You should only use Denzos or NGKs in these cars. Stay away from like Champion or those crappy brands. So the first thing when this started happening was, okay, it's either spark plugs, coil packs, or spark plug wires. So I bought all of that stuff new. That did not fix it. So do not waste as much money as I did. And the problem actually was, I took off the upper intake manifold cover. Here, I'll show you guys. And I kind of feel silly for doing this, but hopefully, if you're chasing a misfire that has eluded you, you take off this, hold on, let me get the hood prop here. So right here, this is your intake manifold, right? So this is the shiny part that's polished here is the upper intake manifold. So what you have to do is you remove the 5 bolts here, remove your throttle body, the intake, and what it was the injector harness plug. It wasn't clicked in all the way. So all I had to do was remove this upper intake cover, the intake manifold cover, and I grabbed the long flathead screwdriver. And it was actually, I noticed that the plug wasn't properly seated all the way. And I mean, I've been there many times. Like I've had this apart many times, even after the engine swap with the injectors and this and that. And I don't know how I didn't catch it, but maybe it looked seated, but it wasn't fully seated. And I guess that's why it would start misfiring when you hit like a big pothole or bump. And if you revved it up, maybe the plug just slightly shifted where it was getting a proper connection. So it's pretty silly, but that was the problem in my case. After all that stuff that I changed, all that money, you know, crank angle sensor, cam angle sensor back there, the blue wires are new, the coil packs are actually from NGK. I changed those, spark plugs, crank cam, what else? Oh yeah, and another thing, when I was throwing parts at it, I had a spare throttle body, so I changed that. And then I tried even a couple of these sensors here beside the throttle body. It was none of those things. So the first step before you waste any money is always check if your fuel injectors are properly plugged in. It's a silly problem, but hey, you learn, right? It's a learning process. Don't start throwing parts that you are not guaranteed to know that they're the culprit, you know? So hopefully this video helps somebody else out. I wish somebody had this video posted on the internet, because the reason I started throwing all these different parts at it was because I was, of course, reading things you find on Google or Miata forums, and people are saying, oh, it's this or it's that, or this happened to me. So just make sure everything's plugged in properly, you know, check your grounds and stuff like that. Because I was kind of wondering, like, my car is really well maintained. It doesn't, the engine swap does not have high mileage, and I was like, it's kind of weird for all these random issues. And I know for a fact that my plugs, wires, and coils were much newer than the engine swap. Like, they only had maybe 5,000 kilometers on it, maybe like 3,000 miles on it. But I still changed them anyway, just in case, because sometimes electric parts are defective. But hopefully this helps somebody out. And yeah, good luck, guys.